All right.
For some reason, it fell. The line fell.
It was you. You broke it.
Yeah.
You broke it. I don't know. The connection's mostly good. It just seems like it's very...
Every now and then it'll just kind of fucking...
sporadic.
Yeah. What you doing down there, Pookie Pants?
Oh, Pookie came in to visit.
Yeah.
She's like playing
with
down.
You playing with stuff? Come here.
Oh, no. She's like, what?
Come here.
What?
Come here.
Come here, you want to be on the show? Come on,
You wanna be on the
everybody wants to see
She's
you.
like, no.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thought you want to come up here.
You shy?
Want to come up here?
Yeah, come see
here.
Daddy. Come see Daddy.
He's like, no. Yeah, I don't know where I got cut off. I was just talking about how...
The connection was abducted by aliens.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
The aliens took it.
They hear what I'm talking about. And they're like, we can't have this dude talking like this. And they shut that shit off.
I don't think that's what it is. Because honestly, it went red when we were talking about Thanksgiving leftovers. It went red when we were talking about candy. It went red when we were talking about all kind of random shit.
Yeah.
So, I know you like to think you're like, like what you said, like everybody's listening, but it's really
I'm not saying it's
not.
everybody. I think it's algorithms.
Maybe.
I think it's fucking computer AI. There too many buzzwords come up, and they go, "Nah, he must not be talking about anything good." And they start fucking. He's talking bad about us, so they start slowing it down, giving you warnings, and then they shut your ass off.
Okay.
So they didn't want me talking about those cities falling apart because of the technology. You don't need them. See.
Ilse says the aliens want to abduct your Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go down there and get some fucking Thanksgiving.
They better not. I'm gonna get some
yeah,
too.
I'm about ready to go down there. Jenny's like, no, we gotta do the show, and I'm going, man, we got Thanksgiving leftovers down there.
I know, but they're still gonna be there later. No one's gonna the aliens aren't gonna come and eat them. It's fine.
I gotta go down there and put them in the refrigerator, I guess.
Well, you can if you want.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna eat some later, after the show. I had some for lunch, a little bit, but
because we'll be down. The show will probably be over in about an hour anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
So might as well just leave them out.
Okay. Well, then what are you worried about?
Why worried about them fuckers going bad? But I don't think they will go bad.
Nothing's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's nice and cool in here.
Yeah.
There's no germs.
Yeah.
The cats don't want it, so they're not gonna jump up there and eat it.
Yeah.
Although I will say,
I will
say that the day before Thanksgiving, because there was so much cooking activity going on in the kitchen, we were like, well, let's, get takeout. So we got Chinese food.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I got egg foo young, and Pookie was into that shit. She didn't eat any of it, but she kept, I was trying to eat it, while I was working at the same time, at my desk, and she jumped up on the desk and she kept sticking her face in the carton. She's, sticking her face. What you got there? What you got there? What you got there? And I'm like, it's that. And she's like, can I eat it? And she's like, no, gimme. But she does that to my coffee mug, too. And she doesn't like coffee. Oh, Victor has finally showed up. Yeah, we did, 2 hours? I think we did 2 hours before. But then, the stream crashed again, so we had to, start again. It went red when you said holiday, yeah.
Camp Guy says I made a real roux for the first time for my gravy. It was awesome. Dry roasted turkey wings with onion and garlic, celery, and then add chicken broth, reduce it, cook it for about 3 hours, add to caramel roux. Yeah. Yeah, roux's good. Now you know how to fuck with roux. Now you need to make gumbo. You need roux, and you need something called gumbo filet. Filet is a little spice mix. You can get about that big around, about that tall in a little glass bottle.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you very much.
Says I missed y'all.
Thank you.
We missed you too. We wondered where you were.
You can get gumbo filet at the grocery store.
Filet is like sassafras leaves, essentially.
Yeah. It's all ground up
sassafras.
Yeah, it's white. It's white. Excuse me. It's green powder. And Zatarain's make some. You'll find it, but you need that and roux. And then get you some shrimp or get you sausage, slice it, or chicken. Make gumbo. Okra. You got to pre-cook that okra, get all the damn cornstarch and all the slime out of it first, and then put it in there.
Slime.
Yeah, it releases all kinds of slime.
It does, yeah.
You got to cook it, pre-cook it first, and then separate the two, and then put that in the gumbo, and serve it over rice, or put rice in it. It's kind of like a Louisiana, French, African kind of dish. It's good, real good.
Camp Guy said I can get sassafras in the woods right outside my door. Yeah, sassafras grows wild.
Yeah, but that's not gumbo filet.
In the South a lot. But like I said, that's what it's made from, though.
Yeah,
is
there's a bunch of other stuff in there.
Yeah, but that's mostly
There's
good.
bay in there, bay leaves and all kinds of stuff, and then you put bay in it also. No, but you need filet.
Camp Guy said, I like slimy boiled okra. Whole pod slide right down. Yeah. I'm not a big okra fan. I like it in gumbo, but I don't know. I don't really like it that much otherwise. Mr. Roboto says, Tom, Jenny, how's the eggnog? We haven't got any eggnog yet this year. We haven't done it yet this year. It's a little early. It's so fattening. I hate to say, I'm not like a big fan of eggnog.
Yeah.
However, I did order all of my mocha mint, like my peppermint cappuccino mixes for this year. I always get like at Amazon, they have like a pack of 6 of them, like the mixes, because I always like to have minty cappuccino this time of year.
Gumbo filet. It says file on it, but it's filet.
No, there's an accent over the E, clearly. Yes, there is.
I do not see it. Oh, I can see it. Okay.
Yeah, duh. Don't tell me.
No. No.
Yeah, well, because you always just assume I'm wrong.
No.
even though it's right there.
I didn't see the accent.
Yeah, it's right there.
Well, on the printed part, it didn't have the accent on the printed part.
Well, they probably don't know how to make like an accented E on the fucking...
Yeah.
Honestly, to be fair, like on a PC, I'm not sure how to do like accented E's or like umlauts or anything. I know how to do it on a Mac, but I can't do it. It's easier on a Mac than it is on a PC, gotta say. Yeah, Ilse says fried okra is where it's at. Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna like bread and fry it, yeah, then I'm on board. Victor says I love eggnog. Like I said, I like it in small doses. It'd have to be kind of like a glass that big with some rum in it, and then I'll drink it. But
I like eggnog ice cream. I like eggnog everything.
Yeah, Tom's a big eggnog.
I like
fan.
eggnog.
It's a little much for me. It just seems a little rich. I don't know. Tila says it feels like Saturday today. That's what I thought. All day today, I kind of felt like it was Saturday because I just like farted around and did nothing yesterday. Yesterday we just ate, watched Turkey Day Marathon, and I read 3/4 of a book. So, but it was nice, like not really having to do anything. It's a nice thing about holidays is that I know that no one's gonna bother me. You know what I mean? Because everyone else is off too, so it's not like I'm gonna get some email going like, "Hey, I need this flyer," or "I need this, that, or the other thing." So, you know, it's nice to just kind of like chill out and not worry about it. Camp Guy says, okra is one of the easier and most prolific vegetables you can grow. Keeps on putting on pods in the hot summer sun. Yeah, and Victor said, Bluebell came out with eggnog ice cream. Did we get that one year?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
I don't know if I ate any of it, but I think we got some.
Bluebell is the best ice cream. Yeah, it's me.
It is pretty damn good.
Ice cream of the South. The Rocky Road is fucking unbelievable. All of it's good. Even the vanilla, and it fucking stretches, and it snaps. Oh, that shit's so good. Yeah. Even the damn pistachio's good. With Neapolitan's good. It's all good. Fuck.
Man, I haven't had ice cream in a long time.
Yeah, there's not a bad Bluebell. They're all good.
Like I said, if I'm gonna have ice cream, I want some fucking crunchy ass shit in there.
Yeah.
I want some mint chocolate chip or butter pecan or something's got nuts in it or something. Or I like coffee ice cream, but it's got to have like chunks of chocolate or something like that in it. Dermot says, I didn't know this actually. Dermot says okra is called ladyfingers here in the UK. Weird, huh?
Really? Yeah.
Ladyfingers here is a completely different thing.
Ladyfingers is a firecracker here.
Well, no, ladyfingers are like that dessert.
Also cookies.
They're kind of like cookies,
Yeah.
Twinkie-ish kind of. They're not Twinkies, but they're kind of that shape. They're Twinkie shape.
A ladyfinger is also a little tiny firecracker. Don't you remember those?
Yeah, I remember those.
They
But
call
that I
them
don't think that's the most common nomenclature.
It's
Though.
Mississippi.
Well,
Down south.
I'm talking about in America as
Mississippi.
a whole.
Yeah.
Ladyfingers is more like a dessert.
Okay.
Like a little cake, like a Twinkie but smaller, and you kind of like soak them in liqueur and.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Trader Joe's, says Tila, had an eggnog liqueur. I'm sure that was probably good. Danny Rolling Ghostface asked, what's Tom and Jenny's favorite episode of the show A Haunting?
Haunting a Summer Wind.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Demon Child.
Demon Child was good too, yeah.
Man said I could.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to the kitty?
Yeah.
Where's that raccoon? That was actually something.
Where's that raccoon? Trying to think of what else was a good one.
The Bobby Mackey one was good.
Yeah, it's okay.
What was that? There was a lot of good ones, actually.
Yeah. First and second season.
Yeah.
Season 3 is pretty good.
Because, like I said, I bought you the first 4 seasons
Yeah.
on DVD, like the box set.
They still have them. They still make those.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get them on DVD. Probably not.
No, because I checked one year.
Yeah, I don't think
After season 6
that was the
or
last
7, I think that was the last. Because I think I bought you a couple, like, individually.
Yeah.
But then after that, they just went all online. They're like, yeah, they don't make physical ones anymore.
Right. Well, they didn't have enough money wrapped up into that anymore.
Yeah.
It kind of went downhill.
Mr. Roboto asked, Jenny, what's your favorite coffee alcohol other than Bailey's? A long time ago, they used to make a coffee vodka. Do you remember what brand that was? It wasn't Pinnacle. It was kind of its own thing. I used to get it at Venue 13, and it was so good that, I mean, it tasted like vodka, but it still tasted like very, very strongly of coffee, and it was like really, really dark.
I don't remember.
And I can't remember what the brand name of it was. It wasn't Pinnacle. It wasn't one of the ones that you would think of when you thought of like flavored vodkas, but it was really, really nice. And you could drink it straight. That's how good it was. You didn't have to mix it with anything. But god damn it, I can't remember what the fucking name of it is. But yeah, I mean, Bailey's is good too. Just gonna say. And then Tila asked, what's everyone's favorite Twilight Zone episode?
Oh, man.
Ooh.
The one of the kid fucking wishing people out to the cornfield. That was the fucking...
I think it's called It's a Good Life.
It's a Good Life, yeah.
I've always been partial to Eye of the Beholder. Which is the one about all the people that look like pigs. And the woman that has, like, is getting plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And also the one with William Shatner where he goes to that town and, like, wishes on that kind of thing in the diner with the devil head on it. What the fuck is the name of that thing?
That was William Shatner?
Yeah, I think William Shatner was in it.
I remember him, he was flying in the airplane and seeing the
Well,
thing
yeah,
on the
that's a
wing.
good one, too. That just seems like a... Yeah, that was Twilight Zone, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure... Didn't Richard Matheson write that? I kind of feel like Richard Matheson. And then we're talking about Night Gallery. Ooh, Night Gallery.
One where the girl was beating the little little boy was beating up on the damn monster. Like, and then eventually it came and ate her.
Oh, man, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
We just rewatched all the Twilight Zones a couple years ago.
Yeah, I gotta see them again.
Because I think, well, I don't know if they're still on Netflix, but they were, like, a year or two ago.
What about the one where that old fucking dude had damn arthritis? It was old, what's his name? He goes, go out there and dig, watch 10 paces and dig and you'll find a big surprise. Remember that? And they dig it, the bad boys went and they dug that shit up. There was a coffin, he opens up, and he comes out and goes, rah, surprise! Remember that shit?
I don't remember that.
That was fucking freaky ass shit. And there was also had Cool Air.
That's an H.P. Lovecraft story.
That one was in it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous story. That's been adapted a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Victor said, remember the one about the kid that was like a god, made his sister's mouth disappear. Yeah, that was It's a Good Life. They actually remade that one for the Twilight Zone movie in the 80s. They changed it a little bit from the original story.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they kind of gave it a little bit of a promising ending, which that wasn't good. They should have left that shit. It was a fucking nightmare of what it was.
I mean, it was still kind of fucked up at the end because, I mean, he basically made the whole entire world disappear. Except for him and that woman. And she was
I thought they could leave. I thought they left together.
Well, she was just kind of telling him, well, we need to, like, get control of this shit that you can do. Because, I mean, if he could wish the whole world gone, he could wish it back, too.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, you know, irreversible. So, you know. He said, yeah, I remember it from the movie. Yeah, the one from the original Twilight Zone episode was not a lot different. It was the same basic concept. But it didn't... as far as I remember, the one from I haven't seen it in a long time, but the one from the original Twilight Zone episode, it didn't really resolve, did it? Because, I mean...
No, they were trapped in it.
Well, yeah, because it wouldn't. I mean, if there was actually a kid that had that power that could just, like, wish anything into or out of existence, you'd kind of be fucked. Yeah. Like, everyone would be fucked. And there wouldn't really be anything you could do about it. So I kind of feel like that's what happened in that. Whereas, like, the movie one, they kind of gave it a little bit more of an ending in the sense that, yeah, he wished the entire world away because he got all pissed off about something. But he liked that teacher that he met enough that maybe she could, like, rein that shit in at some point.
From what I remember, the original one, I may be wrong, but from what I remember, they had one guy who was complaining about fucking, why doesn't somebody just kill the kid? Just keep him behind it. And, you know, why is this why is everybody just cowards? And I'm like, well, why don't you kill the kid? Remember that?
Yeah.
He didn't kill the kid.
That's true. Yeah, it's really easy to, like, tell other people to do some shit.
Yeah, why doesn't somebody else just kill the kid? It's a whole town of cowards. And they're like, yeah, but you're not killing the kid. Walk up behind the kid and kill him. Which I guess is kind of like, it's kind of like with dictators. A dictator can fucking do all kinds of shit in the country, and fucking other people go, why doesn't somebody kill him? Well, why don't you kill him? You know, they don't do it.
Well, it's easy to, like, talk about it. Yeah. It's quite different to, like, actually do it.
Don't want to get in trouble, do you?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was a movie that I'm going to be reviewing in a couple of weeks, which is a British movie called The Children. And it's kind of like a similar premise where these kids kind of go homicidal. And it's kind of playing on the idea that if your kid went homicidal, you wouldn't really believe it at first. And two, could you really kill them if you had to? This little innocent looking child. And I kind of like that the movie played with that. And that was kind of like the same thing that they were going with the Twilight Zone thing. It's like, could you really... Yeah, this kid was like a dick and he was horrible and everything, but could you really kill a little kid? Yeah. Not a lot of people could, you know.
Mr. Roboto says he'd rather go to the cornfield. At least he'd be free. Yeah, you'd be at the cornfield as a jack-in-the-box, though.
Yeah, my thing was like it really didn't seem that fun in the cornfield. And honestly, in the one that they did in the '80s movie, the Twilight Zone movie that John Landis, John Landis didn't do that part. He did the one where Vic Morrow got killed. Who directed that segment of the Twilight Zone movie of that one, because it was all different directors. I can't remember. But in that one, they didn't mention a cornfield. He just basically just like wished you away. Like his sister, one of his sisters, he wished her into a cartoon, and then she got eaten by a cartoon dragon.
That was in the movie, though, right?
That was in the movie. That's what I just said. Yeah. So he just like wished people into like non-existence, kind of, or into like limbo. You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess back in the old days, if you're like out into the cornfield, that was kind of like limbo. But in the 80s, they were just kind of like, it was like actual limbo. So you just be like, there'd be nothingness. And honestly, like, he wished his whole family away, and like the teacher asked what he had done with them, and he said, I gave them what they wanted, like, to be away from me. Yeah. So he just like wished them into a nowhere.
All right.
So I guess they're all just kind of like wandering around in some empty fucking...
Another good one that nobody remembers is the one where the guy fucking can't find his daughter and he hears her fucking calling through the wall.
Oh, that's a good one too.
So then he gets his buddy who's a physicist to come out, remember? And he goes...
Yeah.
And they figure out that she has slipped into a parallel dimension.
Like through the wall, under the bed.
And they're trying to figure out how they're going to get her out. That was a fucking really good one.
That was a good one,
And it was nothing but just... dealing with the here and now, and he goes, it must start from here to here. Oh yeah, and he's doing a whole, it must be what they call a parallel dimension. They ended up trying to get her out of there. Didn't they send the dog in there?
Yeah, the dog. Well, the dog. Does the dog go in accidentally? I thought the dog went in accidentally.
I thought the dog had a rope on it.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
I think they sent the dog in there. They went, go get her, boy. And he went through the wall. And she grabbed onto the dog, and they pulled the dog out and got her out. Got her and the dog out. That's how I remembered it. And they'd hear her all in kind of weird. Every time she moves this way, it's a foot in her dimension, but over here it's 20 feet. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I'd like to see that one again.
Well, see, I always like a good story where, and this is why I think I talked about this on my House of Leaves review. You always like a good thing where your internal like architecture is not how it appears. Right. That's always like really unsettling.
You know what's weird is that episode, looking at it now, that reminds me a lot of what it was like at Mammoth Mountain. That it felt like that type of situation.
Yeah.
That it was just something paranormal.
Where you thought you could fall through the wall?
No. That's something paranormal, that fucking things were being moved and you couldn't see it, and it was something in another dimension. It was like that. Remember how they were trying to figure it out? That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I wish that shit was fucking kicked back off again with enough frequency so you'd trip out. You'd lose your fucking mind.
I wouldn't.
It was like that.
But yeah, get it to kick off again. It's all you doing it.
Yeah, it takes time to fucking get that shit spun up.
Just chill out and get it all fucking, do we need to have like a seance or something?
Nah, probably have to get pinned up like a motherfucker.
Get pinned up like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I had to get real fucking agitated.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard.
No.
Danny Rolling Ghostface says that Macaulay Culkin film The Good Son is a good dark thriller. Yes, it is. I agree. Where the mother has to choose to save her bad son or her good nephew and drop one off a cliff. Yeah, I remember that. Honestly, I kind of feel like that's a really good thing to explore. And like I said, I'm going to talk about this when I review the movie The Children, because I just rewatched it today. And that kind of goes there, gonna say. Because that's kind of like a sensitive topic. What happens when your kids turn into like murderous little motherfuckers, and you kind of have to like kill them to save yourself, and it kind of goes against every, human instinct.
Yeah.
To do that, and the kids are cute and all this other kind of shit. So, but also they might stab you. I kind of feel like that's why killer kids are like a big thing in horror. Because it's such a horrifying idea of like your own kids.
What about that case where those people fucking adopted that, I don't know, what was it, Croatian little girl? And it turned out it wasn't a little girl.
Orphan.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
No, it was real.
Well, it was a movie called Orphan.
No, okay, never mind.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happened in real life, but that was a movie. That's a movie.
Real life case where just people it happened a long time ago. They adopted this little, I think she was Croatian girl, and they thought she was about like 7, but she wasn't. She was more like about 15, 16, 17. And they kept her for a long time. She was in her 20s. And yeah, I don't remember, somebody in the audience might remember. She was just doing weird shit, and she ran out on her own and was doing weird sexual shit. And it turned out she was never really a child. I think she was like fucking, I think she might have been almost an adult when they adopted her. But she did look like a little kid. She just had some medical problems. She wasn't growing. Her teeth were kind of fucked up, but other than that, she looked.
I mean, I don't know if it was based on a real story or not, but there was a movie called Orphan that was exactly that. That was this couple and their kid died and they adopted another girl and they thought she was 11 or something like that, but it turned out she was like 30. But she had some kind of like medical disorder.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
She was like hitting on the dad.
We
and
were
all
talking about the same
stuff.
one. It's the same thing.
Well, like I said, that's a movie called Orphan.
That was based on something that really happened.
Maybe.
I'm gonna show it to you right now.
Yeah, some people are bringing up Magic with Anthony Hopkins. I actually did a review of that a couple months ago, I think. Yeah, I love that movie too. If you love
there it is right there.
Creepy ventriloquist dummies.
Claims adopted daughter is actually a 22-year-old sociopath.
What year is that from, though?
Well, they were talking about it in 2019. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I mean,
that's her right there.
I mean, the movie came out in...
Ukrainian daughter 9 was 22. It had dwarfism. Okay. She tried to kill us.
Yeah, but the movie came out way before this story, though.
All right.
So I kind of... And that's from the Daily Mail, so I kind of feel like they probably just made it up.
No. No, they were a whole...
The movie came out in 2007? I want to say it was 2007. Something like that. It was a while back. It's a good movie, though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's based on a real story, but that story it's not old. The movie came out a long time before that story came out. And it kind of just sounds like they're...
No, it really did happen. I saw a bunch of programs on it.
Victor said that happened after the movie came out.
It happened. That's her right there. That's her right there.
Although that's...
You guys, they had her on damn television programs. The courts were involved in it and everything. That is a case that really did happen.
Yeah, the case did...
I think it happened in England.
Yeah, it did. Well, I'm just saying the case happened after the movie came out, though. Okay. Because the movie came out in 2009. Thank you, Tila. Right. I thought it was 2007, but it was 2009.
Her name was Natalia Grace of Ukraine.
Yeah, she was on Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil.
Natalia Grace of Ukraine.
I didn't know that bitch was still on.
Actually, it's the Indiana couple. They were scammed into adopting an adult Ukrainian with dwarfism now being...
Yeah, I remember kind of hearing about that, but then I was just kind of like, wait, did they get that idea from Orphan, or did that really happen? Because, like I said, the movie came out, before, and it was, a pretty well-known movie, so I didn't know.
No, Natalia Grace.
I didn't know if they were just making it up. or if it was one of those stories that just went around, as an urban legend kind of thing. Yeah, Victor said it was here. Her adoptive parents got her an apartment and moved to Canada without her.
yeah. That sounds right. I think they did.
It's like, hey, you're a grown-up. Bye.
Yeah, that's right. They're like, see ya. And it was an adult posing as a fucking child.
Which, like I said, that's why I was suspicious, because I'm like, that's exactly the plot of Orphan.
There's the Court of Appeals in Indiana and everything.
That's exactly the plot of Orphan.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
But no, that did happen.
And she was even... Now, I haven't seen Orphan in a few years, but wasn't she supposed to be from... I didn't think she was, Eastern European or something, or maybe not. Maybe she wasn't. I can't remember.
She's a Ukrainian woman. But she was posing as a child.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, that's the same thing.
Yeah, and I guess she came out of some... That's her right there. See? It's her right there. Yeah, he's on Dr. Phil.
Fucking Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah. Fucking Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that douche was still around.
And she did look like a little baby, though.
Wee!
Yeah.
I'm totally not a grown-up.
I'm totally not a grown-up.
You can get away with all kind of stuff. I mean, not gonna lie, if I was 30 years old and still looked like a 7-year-old, I might try to pull that scam. I'm not proud.
I don't think it was just her, because had to have been a whole agency involved in it.
Mr. Roboto, what?
Some Ukrainian agency sold her or something.
Mr. Roboto says evil children, just give them bourbon. Yeah. I mean, I like that. I like those killer kid movies. Yeah, Dermot said she was Russian in the movie. That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought she was something like that. But yeah, that's why... But you can see why I was skeptical, because I was like, yeah, that's a new story, and that movie came out, a long time ago, so...
Well, anything can happen in the world, and that was somebody tried that.
That's what I'm saying. But maybe that's where she got the idea. Maybe she got the idea from the movie.
Probably not. I don't think that. I think it was just somebody said, "This looks like a little girl. Let's sell her," and they sold her that way. She's like, "Yeah, I get some free shit. I get out of Ukraine." They said she was a sociopath. Fucking psycho.
Just like in the movie.
Yeah. She's going after the husband. She tried to kill him.
Just like in the movie.
Yeah.
That happened in the movie too. You should watch the movie. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, it's the same. It's essentially the same story. Ilse says, I was listening to The October Country by Ray Bradbury. Yeah, that's an excellent book. On audiobook. One story was about this angry dwarf. Yeah. That's a really good book. Badass Domain says, Mikey is a good killer kid movie. I remember that. Oh, I saw that, but it was like a long time ago. I'm all into the killer kid movies. Well, like I said, that's why I wanted to kind of highlight. Like I said, the review of it won't go up for a few weeks, but I watched the movie today, so I'm probably gonna record it this weekend sometime. It's a British movie. It came out in 2008, I want to say, and it's called The Children, and it's about killer kids, but it's not funny at all. It's very realistic. It's very gory, and it's honestly, if you don't mind kids getting killed in horrible ways, being smushed by cars and impaled by glass and stuff like that, then this is your movie. Just gonna say, it goes there. A lot of American movies would not. I kind of feel like a lot of American movies would sort of shy away from, they'll do killer kid movies, but they kind of pull their punches a little bit. They're like, well, it's a kid. We don't really want to, you know what I mean? We don't really want to see them getting fucked up or getting killed or anything. Not this movie. It's nope, fuck it. The kids are getting fucking fucked up in all kind of ways. And yeah, it's actually really, really good. And it's weird. It's one of those movies that, this is what I'm saying about Tubi. I kind of feel like people have this perception, horror fans have this perception that Tubi, because it's free with commercials, they're like, oh, well, all the horror movies on there are probably sucky. Not so. Yes, probably 75-80% of the movies on there are probably sucky. But there's a lot of really good shit on there too. So you really got to watch. And this movie is for free on there, and it's really, really good. So.
Sheila said they were talking about that movie It's Alive last night over dinner.
With the killer baby.
With the baby, yeah. That was a good movie.
Honestly, I love It's Alive.
I hadn't seen it. I never saw it when it came out, but I had friends at school, I think it's in the 3rd grade when that shit came out, talking about it. They saw it somehow. That's because in California there was always a way. And it was trickling down what was happening. The baby running around killing people. It was a fucking mutant baby. And I was like, I remember being kind of confused. Well, is it a monster or is it a baby? This says, no, it's both. The baby is a monster. It's a
baby monster.
And I'm like, the baby's a monster. And I was trying to wrap my head around this. They go, yeah, it was born. There was something wrong with it. And it came out and it was like a monster. And it was killing people. And it was biting them. And it was flying. It could kill an adult. I said, it could kill a big person. They're like, yeah.
It could kill a big person.
That's like how it is when you're a kid. It could kill a big person. It's like, yeah. How did it do that? Oh, it had everything. It had teeth. It had claws. It could fly. Just shit like that. And I was freaking out, man. And it went down into storm drains where the fucking ants were from them. And I was like, what? It was blowing my fucking... And it turned out that it was true. That did happen. It just didn't happen in that order, I don't think, did it? Remember it went down into the storm drains?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah.
If I remember correctly, it went down the storm drains.
They made at least one sequel to that. Yeah. There might have been more than one.
There was another sequel?
There was a sequel? There was a sequel, yeah.
Oh, man, gotta see that.
You've never seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. I don't remember much about it. I remember, the original one is the most memorable. So.
From what I remember, how long ago was it that we saw that? 4 years, 5 years?
Probably.
I remember liking it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah. It was a low-budget movie, but it had a good pace to it. I remember having a good edit.
And come on, killer baby.
Yeah. Dude knocked her up, and fucking baby popped out, and it was killing shit.
How can you not love that? Come on.
Yeah, and I don't remember how that happened. Did it have something to do with something in the water? Mercury or something in the water?
Oh, shit, I don't remember now.
Atomic radiation in the water, something like that. I don't remember what did it. Tila probably remembers. She saw it.
Well, I can't... Wait a minute. I might be confusing that because I know that there was another movie that came out in the 70s that was like an environmental horror, we're mutating all the animals type of thing. And
Prophecy.
I think it was Prophecy that had some fucking mutant babies.
Mutant bear.
Though, yeah. So bear. I kind of feel like, maybe I'm getting...
Yeah, fucking the mama gave birth to a fucking mutant bear, and a bear came out and killed the mama, and it got fucking big. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it was a bipedal bear. It could stand up. Didn't have
Well,
any
I
hair
mean,
on it.
bears can stand up, but you know.
Yeah, but this was just a man in a suit. You know what I mean?
We're saying he's mutated because it's just a dude in a costume.
Yeah.
That's how we're explaining it.
It looked good though. When you weren't looking at it for very long, you know what I mean? Because it couldn't move real well from what I remember. But
Like, if your eyesight wasn't good, if you were like some Mr. Magoo shit, you were like looking at it. But
deformed ass looking bear without any hair on it, standing up on its back legs, big old these fucking teeth.
didn't somebody bite somebody's head off in that?
Yeah, it had to have done all kinds of shit. I remember one time there was somebody trying to run away, hopping in the damn sleeping bag, and it goes bam and hits, and the feathers go flying, and the fucking, remember that? And the fucking sleeping bag goes flying, and it hits the fucking tree, and it goes, and it's like the man breaks.
Man, that was like Friday the 13th Part 7.
Yeah.
Where Jason picks up the person in the sleeping bag and goes whack against the tree.
Yeah, it's just like that.
One of my favorite kills from the
Yeah.
Friday the 13th series, should be said.
In Prophecy, the fucking bear just fucking batted it like that.
See, now I want to see that again. I haven't seen that in a long time. Honestly,
that was for free.
all I remember of that one is what Stephen King talked about, because he talked about that extensively for some weird reason in Dance Macabre.
Yeah, okay, the fucking Tina's got it. She goes, they briefly show the baby. Humongous eyes with claws and fangs.
Yeah, it's a cool looking baby.
The mother harbored him without the father knowing. The baby was killing the milkman and shit. Yeah. It was experimental fertility treatments that the mother was taking. That's right. That's right.
I had totally
That's
forgotten
right.
that was Larry Cohen. Was that Larry Cohen?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that.
Gotta
was
see
Larry
that
Cohen.
bitch again. That was a good one.
You can probably.
It's
find that
almost kind of like along the lines of fucking The Brood. The Brood kind of was another one, little killer babies. Woman hatched a whole brood of these little.
She's like in there like boogieing and like licking them and stuff.
Yeah, she's like the fucking queen ant of all these little fucking ant children. They're not male or female. They're not even. They don't remember that. They don't have. They're genderless, and they're fucking. They're just created by her mind. She can get her fucking eggs to fucking start fertilizing themselves and fucking reproducing.
Well, it's
just like a period, but it comes out alive, and it's fucking, and then they obey her fucking her psychic commands.
They're
rage babies.
Yeah, they're rage babies.
Rage babies.
That's like a personification of her.
Yeah, but there's like a psychic force that's getting her to impregnate her own eggs, and they're bam. Like the way.
I wish I'd thought of that. That's a brilliant idea. I love it.
And they come out and they're fucking embodiments of all her fucking anger and shit. And I think she wasn't she kind of commanding them with psychic abilities?
Yeah, I kind of thought that it was sort of like a hive mind situation.
Like a hive mind,
was it not?
I think so.
I thought so.
She'd have all them fucking babies, and they would run around in their PJs, fucking killing people.
Their little onesies.
Yeah, little onesies,
little footy pajamas.
Little footy pajamas. With a little jacket on.
Can you imagine how horrifying that would be if you had like a bunch of kids and like they're in their little feety pajamas and they were just like coming at you going, mother.
Yeah, and they were children, but not really. They weren't fully human when you think about it.
Well, like I said, I kind of feel like that's why that's a whole like little subgenre of horror is because people that are parents, I can't relate. I'm just a cat parent. Yeah. But if you had human children, what would happen? And I'm sure like a lot of the people that wrote this, like Stephen King, people like that have written stuff like this, like had children of their own. What would happen if your children suddenly turned into like monsters? They like turned on you and it kind of became a situation where you had to kill them or they would kill you. Could you do it? And that's like from a parent's point of view, that's probably like one of the worst things that you could think of. You know what I mean?
Tina said that baby was born and it killed the whole medical staff.
It did. That's honestly like the main scene that I remember was in like the birthing room and like the baby's born. It just kills every fucker in the fucking room.
Now, Tina, did I get it right? Didn't they end up down in the damn California storm drains in the fucking in the old fucking L.A. River? I think they did.
Tila also brings up The Bad Seed from the 50s. Also a good. That was actually based on a book.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like the Killer Kid movies. That one was actually really, really good. That's a classic. Mr. Roboto says Tubi is interesting. Tubi is, well, the thing about Tubi is that it's free because there's ads. So it's gonna be kind of like 70% crap, but maybe even 80% crap. But you really got to look through the shit. They have a lot of horror content.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit you have to, like, wade through. But I know there's, like, a fuck ton of, like, really, really bad fucking Ouija shark level stuff on there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good shit on there, too. So don't, like, write it off.
Yeah, Tila says they cornered him down there in the fucking storm drains. The father was trying to save him. Yeah. I gotta see that again. She says she's never seen The Brood, man. If you haven't seen The Brood, that's...
I love The Brood.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
that's
so
right
good.
up there with damn Videodrome.
Yeah, it's David Cronenberg.
Yeah, Cronenberg movies.
Man, you gotta see all of David Cronenberg.
Yeah. Videodrome was a shit. It was fucking, whoa. Blew my fucking mind.
See, I'm just, like, I don't know. Like, as a creative person, I've always been really jealous of people like David Lynch, David Cronenberg, stuff like that. I'm like, how do you, like, guys think of, like, weird shit like that? I don't know. Like, I think of weird shit, but I don't know. I feel like I haven't thought of anything that weird.
Yeah, she says that'd be a good one. The Brood and It's Alive. And It's Alive would be a good double feature.
It probably would be.
Yeah.
Honestly, watch those two together. It's just like, oh, it's the Killer Kids double feature. I'm into it.
And in The Brood, man, it's got that fucking creepy ass British dude that's always on the edge of fucking whipping your ass. Fucking, what's that?
Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed, yeah. He's the one fucking... He's one of the main characters. Oliver Reed. Yeah, Oliver Reed scared the shit out of me as a kid. Him and Michael Caine. Both of those dudes.
I can see that, though, because those two guys,
shit out of me, man.
They're great actors, but they did have that thing where it's just kind of like, I'm about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just like losing my shit.
Fucking ass. And
losing my shit.
They were just like, they were like abusive fathers or something. They feel like that's your daddy and he's going to fucking beat you up. That's what it felt like. And fucking, it's just... You know what I'm talking about?
Someone's like going back to some childhood trauma or some shit.
No, I can just fucking tell that's what that shit was about.
That is kind of how they came across.
That's how they came across.
I have to say.
Fucking, and...
Have you ever seen, was it, God damn it, was it Women in Love that had Oliver Reed and the other dude like wrestling naked in front of the fireplace?
Yeah, they did that in that movie.
Yeah. That was Women in Love, right? Am I remembering that?
Yeah. Oliver Reed was fucking... He was a good actor. Okay, and these are fucking
burnt offerings, bitch. Come on.
He was a fucking trained British actor of the theater, fucking Shakespeare and shit, and all other kinds of fucking 1960s style fucking theater, which was real fucking loopy fucking hippie shit. You know what I mean? He was into that shit too, but he loved booze. And he liked making money, and he liked women.
I also love booze.
Yeah, and to have booze and women, you have to act. See, all right. And
that's how that works.
That's how that works. And then sometimes in your acting career, you're gonna have to wrestle other men naked in front of the fireplace.
It happens. I understand.
Sometimes the role will call for that, and you got to get into it. It's like method acting. You know what I mean? Fucking, you got to make sure you're kind of rocking up a little bit, and like you're really into this shit. But fucking Oliver Reed was evidently he was a fucking handful in real life, and everybody loved him. He said he was a fucking great guy, real intelligent. There's all kinds of interviews with him on talk shows. He's a real good interview, and you're like, man, I could fucking get drunk with that dude. He comes across very mild-mannered and fucking real intelligent, but you know that that's a front. That dude gets drunk and he's fucking wild, all right?
Oh, yeah. You can totally see
He got drunk and just said, he got drunk here in the United States and said, fuck it, and took all his clothes off and just stand there at the bar and then just walked out.
As one does.
As one would do. When you
I've never done that.
And walk down the street naked. So the cops fucking jump him. And they're like, "You're Oliver Reed?" He's like, "Yes, I'm Oliver." They fucking just put his clothes back on, took him to
You know who I am.
Yeah. They just put his clothes back on, took him to the hotel.
Okay, Oliver Reed. We know how to deal with the likes of you.
Well, yeah, I think he's on tour. He's going to America to fucking ply his trade. And he's going to get wild, you know what I mean? Because he's not at home, so he's going to abuse it. That's how I feel.
Well, and the thing about it, though, I mean, at least as far as my perception went, was like in the UK, I mean, drinking is much more, like, I'm not saying drinking isn't part of the culture in the US, because it is. But drinking is much more like normalized, I guess, in the UK. So it's just kind of like people doing drunk ass shit. They're just kind of like, yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that's just how it's okay. That's just all right.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like everyone has stories like that. So we just deal with it and we move on. Now we have a new person. This is a new person. Dan Michael says, "What is she drinking? If it has alcohol in it, I'll like her better." You must be new here.
Yeah.
Are you new here?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because this is our Sidetrack show. I mean, we get drunk on the regular show too, but our Sidetrack show. Yes, this has copious amounts of vodka in it. And this is my third one of this size.
Tina says, damn, I need to watch more Oliver Reed fucking movies. He sounds interesting. Yeah, Oliver Reed was the shit. He was the shit.
She also asked, wasn't he the dad in Burnt Offerings? Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. And honestly, Burnt Offerings is one of my favorite haunted house movies of all time.
And he kind of plays.
It's so good.
He kind of plays a nice guy in that, although he does. Remember, it possesses him, and he almost kills his son. Didn't
Yeah.
He? I mean, so he had that. He has this ability to make you think he's getting ready to fucking snap on you. And
so I think he was like really good for that role,
right?
To be honest with you, because the whole thing, I don't know, like. If you guys have read the novel, which I would recommend, it's by Robert Marasco. And in that one, it's kind of like what the house does. The house, much like in The Shining, I guess, it feeds on people. Yeah. Like, that's how it restores itself. It just like, it kind of like targets your weaknesses and feeds on that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what happens with his character in that movie. And so I think he was a good choice because he kind of comes across as normal-ish in the beginning, but a little bit like you could see how something could target that because he was very like skeptical. He's like, nah, we're not fucking doing this type of shit. And then, but it like really took advantage. You know?
He had a real good voice too. And he was always kind of had this like a simmering kind of potential for violence in his fucking voice, and it was like he's holding back some whoop ass, and that he, or murder. It was like he's getting ready. In some ways, he was kind of like a fucking evil version of James Earl Jones in a certain ways. He kind of had a James Earl Jones style voice. Just listen to him; he's good. And in The Brood, he plays a doctor. There's a psychologist who's getting people to kind of exteriorize all their damn emotions. And remember that shit?
Yeah.
And he was calling them workshops, like therapy workshops. And he's doing it in this fucking seminar place. It really brought me back to California, down in Cody de Casa back in the 70s when I was a kid, going to those horse shows. And they had those places set up. They'd rent them out. And I'd go play in them. And they'd be empty. And it was like an outside movie. It was out like just like what they showed. Like these little.
Yeah.
They were like outside movie theaters / auditoriums, and there'd be a bunches of them, and you could walk from one to the next, and they were renting them out, and you could have them for like business meetings and seminars, and they had them next to all the horse show places, and I'd go play in them with the other kids. And fucking, we ran in one time, and fucking it was filled with dudes with the fucking chalkboard, and the fucking dude goes, "Get out of here!" We ran like that, and the whole audience, like 100 people, started laughing. All these businessmen and shit.
We're doing some raw thing up in here. Okay?
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
Sorry, that's like some 70s shit right there.
Yeah. So he's having his fucking his therapy seminars up there, and he got this one woman to create monsters. And it's just fucking...
Well, see, I feel like Cronenberg... he was kind of like tapping into the zeitgeist of the 70s, I guess.
Yeah.
Which 70s, there was very much like kind of a carryover of the whole New Age situation. And you kind of had all these self-help groups. We're trying to like self-actualize. We're trying to do this, that, and the other. So I like that he took that one step further, where he's like, we have this group where... we're basically taking your emotions and exteriorizing them, and his magnum opus, I guess you could say, was this woman who was able to exteriorize her emotions into actual babies.
Yeah.
That actually, like, grew up into children, but were, like, rage children.
Yeah.
I wish I had thought of that. I really wish I had thought of that.
Somebody goes, wait a minute, hold on. James Earl Jones was the good one? I thought he was like the usual. No, there was something about Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed seemed like he was more prone to violence than James Earl Jones did. James Earl Jones always seemed kind of like grandfather type.
Yeah, he seemed pretty chill.
He was like he was gravitas and shit. He never really seemed violent. Even when he was doing Thulsum Doom, he never really. He was not doing. It didn't seem like physical violence. Even though he cut that woman's head off, he was just using his fucking meme magic, his voice and shit. You know. Now,
well,
Oliver
I cut
Reed,
someone's head off, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm not like threatening or anything.
Yeah, but it's just when you saw him later on, you know,
I know.
as when he was up in his fucking Temple of Doom, Temple of Power, but no. Oliver Reed looked like he was about half drunk and was getting ready to slap you. That's what he. That's the way he seemed.
I mean, you guys, if you guys have not seen Burnt Offerings,
Yeah.
man, that's like one of my favorite haunted house movies. I think Legend of Hell House is my favorite
Yeah.
from the 70s. Burnt Offerings might be my second favorite.
Yeah. Now
And that's
Michael-
Oliver Reed and Karen Black.
Yeah. Karen Black.
And Burgess Meredith.
And Betty Davis.
And Betty Davis.
Yeah. Now, Michael Caine, I liked him too. He was a fucking great actor. A lot of good movies. The Island, which is forgotten. I got a copy of that bitch.
We did a review of that
Need
a
to
while
redo
back.
The Island. Yeah. About the fucking pirates. All right. The Island was fucking great. And fucking The Hand. Oliver Stone.
Man, I love The Hand.
And
The more times I see it, the more
Yeah.
appreciation I have of how brilliant it is.
now Michael Caine, people might know him now as, Alfred from Batman. Me growing up, I didn't see him like that. He was another one that was kind of like some drunk motherfucker who's getting ready to slap you. Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Which could also describe you.
Yeah. Just slap. What's he fucking you?
Pow!
Pow. Yeah.
Although you slap me, I'm slapping you right back.
Yeah, fucking. Pow.
I'd be like, Pat!
Yeah. Fucking Michael Caine. Michael Caine seemed a lot more unstable when he was playing a maniac.
Oh, yeah.
He seemed a lot more unstable. Sweating and shit. Fucking. Yeah, he was fucking.
And for those of you, because I know that the person that asked what I was drinking is new here.
Yeah.
Since you're new here, last year or the year before on Halloween, Tom dressed up as Michael Caine's character from The Hand.
The Hand, yeah. I got that outfit.
He still has the wig.
I got the hand too.
And he still has the
Right
hand. It's
there.
right back there.
The hand's right there.
It was like right. It was on his shoulder the whole
Yeah.
time. That was like, oh, that was my
Yeah.
favorite. I loved that so much.
Got a Michael Caine wig.
Yeah, you do. I mean, technically, it's a Willy Wonka wig, but it looked exactly like Michael Caine's hair in that fucking
Yeah.
movie. You had the jumpsuit, everything. It was amazing. Amazing. I loved that. Honestly,
Tila's gonna watch Burnt Offerings tonight.
she's seen it before,
Oh,
but
okay.
she said she wanted to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never get tired of that movie.
Yeah.
What, like, everybody knows, I love haunted house movies.
Yeah.
I know there's a fuck ton of them. Most of them suck, but there's a lot of really good ones. Burnt Offerings is so fucking good, man. And the book is good, too.
Yeah. Teresa says that Burnt Offerings is on Amazon Prime for $3.99.
Okay.
And I would.
It was on Shudder for a while. I don't know if it's on there anymore.
If you've already seen Burnt Offerings, I'd for the $3.99, you could probably see The Brood, and that's got him in it.
Yeah, I wonder where that's at.
Yeah.
No, Oliver Reed, not Michael.
That's got Oliver Reed in it. The Brood, I think you'd like that one too.
I mean,
Probably better because you haven't really seen that one yet.
Cronenberg.
Yeah, it's Cronenberg.
And I kind of feel like
Burnt Offerings is free on YouTube. Evidently not for everybody. They're going there and they said it's not there.
I mean, if you have a VPN, maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it? I thought it was on Shudder, but the thing about Shudder is that, like, sometimes they'll add stuff and then it'll just be on there for like a month or two and then it'll disappear because they only have the rights for so long. But Because it was on Shudder for a little while. Because I think I rewatched it. Because I was like, oh, look, Burnt Offerings. And I watched it again. Just because. But, I don't know. Teresa says, I've not seen it on YouTube. Yeah, I kind of feel like that maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, maybe it's blocked in the US for copyright reasons. It's free in the... Dermot says it's free in the UK on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe that's why.
We can't see it. Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Blocked in the US.
Like, if you don't have Shudder... Like, if you have Shudder, check that first. If you don't, then check some other shit. I don't really know. I don't think it's on Tubi or anything like that, but... You might have to pay to rent it. But it's good. I mean, if you like haunted house shit and you like 70s shit, I mean, Burnt Offerings is like really, really good. All-star cast, man. All-star cast. Michael Caine was a badass in Get Carter and Harry Brown. I haven't seen Harry Brown, but Get Carter was like really, really good. I mean, you know, Michael Caine. Yeah. Fuck, man. He's like fucking awesome. What's the matter?
I'm hungry.
You hungry?
Yeah.
You feel like you want to like fucking... Victor says the free movie on YouTube is Burnt Offering, and it looks like a new low-budget movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Probably.
Okay, so don't be... Okay, so that's the thing. Don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled.
Burnt Offerings...
With an S on the
with
end.
With an S on the end.
Yeah.
Is from 1977 or 1978.
Yeah.
Oliver Reed is in it.
Yeah.
Karen Black is in it.
Yep.
Betty Davis is in it.
Yep.
Burgess Meredith is in it.
Yep.
So if that's not the movie that you're watching, then that's not the right one.
Yep. Got a big old tall skinny motherfucker driving a hearse.
Oh my god. Yeah. The first time I saw that movie, I saw it at a sleepover when I was 13. I think I was 13. And I saw it at a sleepover, and we were all in this, and we the girl's house whose house it was at, her dad was a heart surgeon, and he had this massive like mansion. And I mean, it seemed like a mansion to me because like I grew up in a fucking trailer park, so you know. But it had like a big fucking marble staircase, all that shit, and all these kind of like little back hallways, servant staircases, all that kind of shit. So I was having a sleepover at this place, and one of the movies we rented was Burnt Offerings, and we were watching it in this little room, and that chauffeur comes on the screen. Every single girl in that room got up and were like, nope, and like ran in like all different directions. Yeah. We're all like 13-year-old girls. We're like, yep, nope, too scary. Too scary.
That's funny.
But, you know. But I still remember that, and I still remember like how, I still remember like how fucking awesome and scary that movie was. I wonder where that new person went. Maybe he was just kind of like, nope, not having it. Yeah, Burnt Offerings on Prime Video costs $3.99. It's worth it though. I mean, I feel like maybe I don't know if y'all will feel the same, but I kind of feel like it's worth $3.99. Just saying. 1976. Okay, so it's older than I thought it was. Hugo only now just showed up.
Yeah.
We're already on part 2. And we're already like kind of... Blaster 1 says, hey guys, I'm new. Wow, we got new people.
Yep.
Oh my god, what are you guys in for? And they show up now when we're already like fucking wasted at this point.
Yeah.
Dan Michael says, I'm still here.
I wonder if you guys review Satan's Children 75.
Or Circa. It's either the worst or best home movie ever. Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it. Never heard of it.
I might have seen that. That sounds very familiar, but I'm going to write it down because that sounds like some shit that I would watch. You know what? I'm still mad. Can I say that I'm still mad that we haven't got to do Devil's Reign? Do you remember that one with William Shatner?
Oh, yeah.
And like fucking, what's his ass was in it?
Yeah.
Anton LaVey. Was it Anton LaVey?
Yeah, I think he's in it.
He
didn't say anything.
Well, he's in it, but he was a technical consultant.
Yeah.
John Travolta was in that shit too. Was he not?
I think so.
He didn't have a speaking role. Mm-hmm. I keep it, and honestly, it's funny. Every time I put it in the Patreon poll, I remember that Devil's Reign has an exclamation point at the end.
Does it?
The Devil's Reign
has an exclamation point.
God damn it!
Yeah.
So one of these days, I'm gonna do that movie. Maybe we'll just do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, I'm buzzed too, by the way. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, so are we. Like I said, this is my... I don't know. I've had so much
Third.
alcohol at this
It's your
point.
third one.
It's my third one.
Yeah.
And this is of this size.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like a lot of vodka. All right. All right, so yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Hugo says, I've been working afternoons. I've been missing half a show. I know, I'm sorry about that. I mean, you know, this is our Friday nights. It's fun. Race with the Devil is great. We did a review of Race with the Devil and The Car.
Yeah.
We did those both on one show.
I think we did, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I remember The Car, but I don't remember Race for the Devil.
Race with the Devil was the one that those families or those friends or whatever, and they were in the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Winnebago? And then they were like getting chased by the
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, we did like vehicular horror.
Yeah.
Double feature. Like we did Race with the Devil and we did The Car.
Yeah.
On one thing.
The Car is the better one out of them all.
It's weird because I kind of feel like Race with the Devil is the better regarded.
Yeah, but The Car was...
But I remember The Car more.
Yeah, The Car is a lot more memorable.
Just because...
It's a good monster movie.
I mean, it's not good, objectively.
For what it is.
But it's still, like, memorable.
Yeah, I
kind
liked
of
it.
feel like.
I liked it.
And that was another one, you know, in the sense, like, Duel.
Yeah.
Where they never showed...
It was like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it reminded me of like Richard Matheson's
Yeah.
Duel or Steven Spielberg's Duel, if you want to be like the movie adaptation about it.
Yeah.
But where they never showed whatever it was that was in the car or the truck that was chasing them. And that's kind of made it scarier, just saying. Danny Rolling Ghostface is talking about The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. Yes, I've seen that. But not for a very long time. Great Italian zombie film from 1974. I remember liking that a lot, but I haven't seen it for many years. So I will have to rewatch that at some point. I'm sure I'll get around to like reviewing that at some point. The Brood, you can rent it on Amazon Prime for $2.99.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So there you go. Shit, that almost makes me want to watch it again.
Yeah, well, we have it on Blu-ray. Remember?
Oh, that's right. We do, don't we?
Got it on Blu-ray.
Honestly, like I said, if I'm sober enough later on tonight, I want to watch some more disaster movies.
Yeah, we can do that.
Or
No,
nature
I wanna
run amok
watch?
movies.
I want to see Zardoz again. Zardoz.
If we do, okay.
I want that
if
bitch
we
on
do
Blu-ray.
Zardoz,
Yeah.
we have to do a matinee on that.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got to do a show on it.
Because
Zardoz.
seriously, what drugs were they on?
It's the same dude that did Excalibur. All right.
Yeah, I know.
And I want to see it again. I want to see if I can get more out of it. I remember it being almost kind of like cross between Excalibur and Barbarella. Remember Barbarella? Fucking
Yeah,
Jane
Barbarella is like fun actually.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
But it makes like about 50% less sense.
I think maybe it makes more sense. Maybe I just wasn't looking at it the right way. I want to go
I
back and
don't
see it
think
again.
it does though. I remember because I remember seeing it when I was younger, and then we saw it a couple years ago, and then I was kind of like, man, this makes even less sense than I remember it making.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I was sober both times I watched it, but that's some crazy shit. You have to admire though, going into a movie with that premise. Because what is even the premise of Zardoz?
Well, okay.
There's a
I was thinking about it. All right, it's
a big giant head.
Well, that was one part of it.
Floating through the sky.
You have a big giant head floating through the sky, vomiting up a bunch of guns and giving it to these savage motherfuckers who are raping and killing people. And it's saying,
Guns are good.
The penis is evil.
And
you fucking
sure.
yeah, okay. So then it turns out that the head flies back to when he gets in, it flies back to a real protected area where they had people that were bored with life. I don't think they even had sex, did they?
No.
They didn't have sex, and they were immortal, right? They were immortal.
I think, but I can't remember. It's been a while. Some
of them had gone kind of catatonic, and somehow his presence there got them to re-enjoy life again. That's how I remember, but I want to see it again. So the way I interpret it now is that they were a civilization of people that had become immortal and kind of superior. They were real intelligent.
And they're like blasé about everything.
Yeah, they were blasé about everything.
Whatever.
So they had a program to send these heads out and vomit up guns to get people to kill other people.
As one does.
So they would not overpopulate, I guess, and threaten them in their city. Is that what it was?
Oh, maybe.
That's what I think. I think they were holding the population in check.
Yes, that has
to
been a while
protect them,
since
because
I've
remember they
seen
didn't
it.
have any defenses.
That's true.
So I want to see it again though.
Seems like kind of an elaborate plan. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, they were godlike. Remember?
Yeah. I know.
They could age a person as punishment. If anybody questioned anything, they'd age them. I want to see it again.
Dermot says, wasn't Barbarella an Italian movie from 1968? Duran Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it
Duran
Italian?
Duran. Yeah.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Was it Dino De Laurentiis?
Dino De Laurentiis, I think maybe.
Yeah.
And
that's where Duran Duran
got
with
the name.
D's at the end. That's where the band got their name from.
Yeah.
From
the
the
bad guy's
villain.
name was Duran Duran. Yeah.
He was played by Milo O'Shea, the Irish actor.
Yeah.
So
and they had
there
Jane
you
Fonda
go.
in it, scantily clad Jane Fonda floating around.
And wasn't that the movie that had the orgasmatron? Was it called an orgasmatron?
Yeah, they go in and have an orgasm. Yeah. She had sex with the angel.
That's right. Pygar.
Yeah.
And the Pygar was played by, what the fuck was that actor's name? I remember him because he was in Space Mutiny.
Yeah.
Space Mutiny. The terrible South African sci-fi movie that was one of the best episodes of MST. Except he was obviously much older.
Yeah.
At this point. Because he was like super hot when he was younger.
Yeah.
Not so much when he was older. But you know what I'm saying. You know, they're all like popping popcorn.
Yeah.
Karen said, yeah, John Philip Law. Thank you. That was his name.
The thing with Barbarella.
And Danger Diabolique. That's right. Yeah, that was also an MST episode.
The thing with Barbarella is that Barbarella had Jane Fonda in it when she was probably at the zenith of her fucking hotness. And they were kind of, I remember there was some brief nudity in it.
Yeah.
But it did kind of, I remember it kind of holding out the promise of maybe this would be an X-rated porn flick, but it never really was. It never was. But you made you think that it was. It kind of, it made a 15-year-old boy think that porn was going to happen. Remember that? And I was like, when's porn going to happen? It's just, they're going to knock that bitch down this time. Oh, he's going to get that. Yeah, but it never would happen.
See, that's how they got teenage boys to watch movies back in the old days.
Right, that's how they did it.
Maybe. Porn's going to break out at any minute.
In any minute, she's going to take that.
So you have to keep paying attention.
She's going to take
and
that
so,
shit
like,
off.
15-year-old boys be like, all right, I'm paying attention.
She's going to take that shit off any minute.
All right, titties. Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
this is good.
Where's the booty?
Bush.
Where's
okay.
the booty? Yeah, where's
all
the
right.
booty? Yeah, that's what was happening. But it never fucking happened. That's how I remembered that movie. I've only seen it once. And I remembered it being boring and not really understanding the plot. I remember certain things happened, but I was like, this is it? It was a weird 60s LSD-inspired sci-fi. Pre-Star Trek, it seemed like. It was like Star Trek was high-tech compared to that shit. That's how I
kind of feel like everybody back then was just on drugs, and so...
Right.
And honestly, like, you know, I grew up in the 70s, so I get, like, I wasn't on drugs, obviously, because I was a kid. But you just saw the stuff that adults were making.
Yeah.
Adults who were on drugs.
It was
so
just,
you just kind of, like, you accepted it.
It was hokey. She came from a space-faring civilization. They were kind of like the police. But they were peaceful and didn't have weapons. They gave her a bow, I think, out of anything. She has, if I remember correctly, she had a bow. She has a fucking flying saucer or a spaceship and a bow. That's it. And then they sent her out to fucking do this difficult fucking mission with no weapons. She's just going to get it done just by pure love and shit. She's going to fuck her way through the mission. Which she does. But you don't see it.
It works.
But you don't see it. That was how I remember Barbarella.
It works.
She fucked her way through it, and you didn't get to see her fuck her way through it. That's how.
See, I need to see it again. It's
That's
been a
how
long
I
time.
remembered it.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the movie, because I was a big, back in the 80s when I was, you know, a child and a teenager,
Yeah.
I was really into Duran Duran, so
Yeah.
because they'd got their name from Barbarella, of course I had to kind of go, like, watch all that shit, so I kind of got all versed in that. But I haven't seen it in a very long time. DJ Maniac says, Danger Diabolique is a fantastic film and did not need to be mistied. I would argue that most films could be mistied. It's fine. I'm not really worried about it. Because they've done, like, Riff Tracks has done good movies, too. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I will argue that is actually one of the better movies that they've done. That is actually a decent movie. And John Philip Law looks really good in it. In his little black, sleek fucking suit.
Yeah, Dermot mentions the little snapping dolls. I remember the snapping dolls from fucking Barbarella's. They had the little fucking shiny teeth, and the little wind-up dolls are coming after her, and she did get bit a couple times by her. But I remember that. It was just kind of... Barbarella was not meant to be taken seriously. It
was kind of campy.
It was a campy 60s drug movie. It really more than it was.
Which a lot of movies were.
Yeah, and it was fucking flower power. That's what it was. A flower power movie. It didn't make any goddamn sense. And it was almost more about fashion. They were dressing up in cool clothes in it. And it was kind of like Flash Gordon, but nowhere near as cool. Flash Gordon was a lot better.
I mean, Flash Gordon is like an eye-gasm.
Yeah, when you see it on Blu-ray on a good TV, it looks really good.
Man, it's so beautiful. I love the look of Flash Gordon.
I saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater when I was a kid. And I fucking loved it. I liked it as much as Star Wars. And then it came out on TV on cable like the year after, and it looked like shit on television, which gave it a real bad rep. But if you see it on Blu-ray on a good TV, Flash Gordon looked badass.
It's gorgeous.
It looked just really high quality costumes and stuff, and it looks just like those old comic books.
See, it's kind of sad because I kind of feel like this isn't a problem nowadays, but people of our generation, I kind of feel like there were movies that came out in the 70s and 80s, and for a long time you kind of thought, oh, this was like, I love this movie, but it was like shitty looking or whatever. Yeah. And then you see it later on. This is why I'm a big fan of like watching stuff that you loved growing up and like watching it again when you're an adult now, because honestly, back when you just had like VHS or like shitty ass TVs, everything looked like balls. It just looked really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so now that everything's been like lovingly restored, I was kind of like, oh my God, competent people made this movie. Look at those shots. Look at those costumes. Yeah. And it's like when you saw it back in the 80s, you just thought it was some like throwaway piece of garbage. Yeah. Because it looked like ass.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Flash Gordon. Most people didn't see it in the theaters; they saw it on TV.
And it looked like ass.
Terrible, yeah. But
it did.
In the theaters, it looked fucking great. It looked better than Star Wars to me. I mean, it looked different. You could definitely tell it was a different style. The colors palette was different. It was not supposed to be realistic. It was fantasy, but it was just like the Flash Gordon serials and the fucking color front page comics, crazy colors, which that's what Flash Gordon was. Crazy colors, weird psychedelic shit that didn't make sense. Ray guns with damn fucking spikes on the front of them, and they just got it right. That's what it was. And see Flash Gordon fucking in HD on a fucking good television, fucking badass.
It looks really nice.
See it fucking slightly toked out. You're supposed to be a little bit fucking high watching that shit.
Well, I kind of feel like that was a given. Like back in the 70s, like, well, everyone's going to be like at least a little bit high watching this. So, you know.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to take it seriously. It's 1920s style. It's good, though.
I mean, can we just say, though, I was watching, I don't know why I just...
20s or 30s? 30s. 20s.
Yeah.
20s.
Oh, it might have been. Well, it might have started in the 20s.
I think it was 20s, yeah.
The Flash Gordon serials?
Flash Gordon, it might have started in the late 20s.
Maybe. It was pre-Hays Code.
Yeah. So they had drugs and sex and everything in the TV series.
When was Hays Code? 34?
I think so, yeah.
37?
My Blu-ray of it comes with like a first, I think 3 episodes or 4 episodes of the original Flash Gordon television series, and it's big satanic fucking statues with women, semi-nude women dripping off the hands of the damn Satan statue, forearms on it, talking about Ming's fucking definitely fucking into his daughter, definitely fucking they're giving drinks and special potions to each other and shit. They're just totally hedonistic, and this is 30s or 20s. It was.
They were dirty motherfuckers.
They were dirty motherfuckers, and some of that shit would not have been appropriate even for the 70s. Definitely not the 50s. Definitely not.
Well, the 50s,
No.
Fuck that. I mean, you could get away with a lot in
40s
the
and
70s.
No. Yeah.
And you could get away with a lot in the 20s.
Yeah, you could get away with it in the 70s. You couldn't get away with some of that shit in the 80s. They were mixing
True.
sex and drugs and violence in the same scene.
I kind of feel like 70s you could get away with almost anything.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some shit that came out in the 70s and I'm just kind of like,
well, I heard guys from the industry talking about it, and it says that some of the shit that they were doing in the 70s was illegal. That you weren't supposed to do that, but they did it anyway, and no one ever checked them, so they would do it again.
I believe it.
Because it had to do with complaints and how much time they had, and evidently the people the people that did all the ratings and all the lawsuits type shit really didn't give a shit. As long as there wasn't a public outcry, they really didn't care too much what you did. And
yeah, that was kind of the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
We'll put the movie out as long as no one complains.
It'll be all right.
Then
right.
Okay.
There was a lot of that.
So I kind of feel like.
So there was some shit.
And in the 70s, everyone was too coked up to complain.
Yeah, and some of that shit was
I guess.
Basically pedo type stuff, and they got away with it.
Like I said, a little uncomfortable nowadays.
Yeah.
Gotta say, to watch.
Was that Pretty Baby and fucking Blue Lagoon? Blue Lagoon was a little kind of pedo-ish.
It was, and honestly, even when I saw it in the 80s, I was kind of like,
yeah, but nobody complained. It was weird. It was a hit movie.
Like I wasn't gonna complain about it, but I was just kind of like, oh,
yeah,
okay, problematic. But yeah, there was kind of like shit like that going on. Yeah. Not saying that's good. I'm just saying they got away with a lot of shit back then that you would not get away with nowadays.
Hugo says the Flash Gordon series for the silver screen was made in the 40s. I don't think it... Okay, well, the one
1940.
1940, okay. I could have swore... I think the comic books even predated that, though.
Well, yeah, the comic books were old.
Like 30s or 20s. They've been around for a long time. And the ones that I have, I don't know if that came from 1940 or 1930. They were talking, but it looked like early talkies. And I don't know if it was... It couldn't have been made for TV. No TV. So it must have been... They were very short. They were only about 15 minutes long. The little episodes that came on the Blu-ray. They were like
they're short.
They had them cut together into a featurette, but it was, I think they were only 15 or 20 minutes long, each one. I think I have to go back and look.
Which is hilarious because people talk about people nowadays having like a short attention span.
Yeah.
I was like, do you guys know how short the movies were back then?
Yeah, they're real short.
Movies back then were like an hour.
Well, they were like, but they played movies before the movie.
Well, they had shorts and like then a couple of movies.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you'd kind of go, you'd pay a nickel and you'd hang out at the fucking movie theater all day. Louis says, hey, Louis showed up. What's up, Louis? I'm old enough to remember when there were only 3 networks. I am too.
Yep.
When I was a kid, we had NBC, ABC, CBS, and also PBS, but that was like local.
Yeah.
And I remember when Fox 35 started. It wasn't 35 everywhere. That was like a local thing. But when Fox started, that was like a big, huge deal because it was like a 5th channel.
What's up, Louis?
And when it first started, all they showed was old Tom and Jerry cartoons and Sanford and Son and Jefferson's reruns.
Funny. Okay.
That's all they showed. Dermot says Hays Code started in 1934. Ooh, I got it right.
All right.
I did say 1934. Goddamn, I'm smarter than I thought. We used to watch the old Flash Gordon shows on Saturday morning kids TV in the 70s.
And they were less than a half hour long, from what I remember.
I kind of feel like everything back then was like super short. Super short.
I was pretty sure some of that stuff predated Hays to the code, though.
Well, it might have, because some of it was kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Well, not dirty,
Either
but...
that or they could maybe skirt it in some weird ways. They must have been pushing it.
Because when the Hays Code came along, it kind of like ruined everything. They're like, well, you could show like some shit before that, because there was like some pretty scandalous by the standards of the era. Prior to that, like in movies and stuff. And then after that, it's like, well, we can't even show, like, they couldn't even, like, suggest any sexual anything. They couldn't like suggest any kind of like horror, gore, anything. They couldn't do anything like that.
Some of that Flash Gordon stuff is suggestive. I mean,
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
But they somehow got around it. I mean, some of those outfits were almost nudity. It's like they're wearing leotards and unitards, but they're very fucking tight, and you can see. You know what I mean? It's like they're almost nude, and then there might be something on it, but you know what I mean. You can. Okay, it wouldn't shock like a normal person today at all. You know what I mean? A bikini is more revealing. But you're thinking, this is 40s or 30s. This is pretty fucking, you know what I mean? This is suggestive.
Yeah, but not for real life, but for
them.
Yeah.
That was suggestive, you know what I mean? So I think they were kind of lenient on some of it. I guess it's all just in the eye of the beholder. They must have talked their way around some of it.
Well, just like anything, anytime anybody like brings down any kind of like rules, like, you know, we can't show this, that, and the other, people are gonna try to like fucking find some loopholes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, we're gonna like show nudity kind of, but what? They have like nude colored unitards on, so they're not naked. They have clothes on. But you can still, like, imagine, because they don't leave anything to the imagination. It's like you can still see, you know, all the contours of their body and stuff. So it's like, you know, it's not like we're showing it, but we're still kind of not showing it. That's how they got around that shit.
I'm getting hungry, Jenny. Want to go ahead and call it a night?
I suppose. I mean, I'm having a good time, but
if you want to stay on for longer, you can, but
you're not going to. You're gonna leave. Are you gonna make me some food?
Yeah.
That's
part of it. I gotta pack that stuff up, and then we'll get some food.
Are you gonna make some more?
We've been on for 5 hours.
You should make some more potato.
Okay.
Tammy says I also made the pumpkin soup last week from our cookbook.
Oh, okay, yeah. What'd you think of that?
She said really good.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, I love that pumpkin soup.
Yeah.
We didn't make it this year, but we made it last year.
Yeah.
Like that's like an appetizer.
Didn't come across pumpkins.
You drink it in mugs.
Yeah.
Like.
Didn't come across pumpkins.
Oh, I love pumpkin soup, honestly.
You can take that pumpkin soup and modify it with a bunch of Indian spices and add chicken to it to make it fucking chicken pumpkin curry too.
Which we have also made.
We
made that last year.
Yeah. Put raisins in it, or fucking or dried cranberries, whatever you want.
So good.
Onions.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said I had leftovers today. Yeah, so did we. And honestly, I'm going to have some more leftovers right now. Yeah. All right, so Tom's getting agitated.
Yeah, I'm getting
And
agitated.
hungry.
Getting fucking starving.
So we're going to have to go.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for hanging out with us this Friday evening, this Black Friday. And we will see you guys on Sunday. I'm not sure what movie we'll be talking about, but we might watch some, like, fucking disaster shit tonight and talk about that on Sunday. But we'll be back on Sunday afternoon, so everybody come back and hang out with us. Thank you for hanging out with us on Friday night. Thank you for all your super chats and all the conversation. We will see you guys on Sunday afternoon. Good night.